Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broward County Public Schools and to this webinar series organized by the Economic Development and Diversity Compliance Department. Today, we're going to study emotional intelligence for small businesses. I am Dr. Ernesto de la Hoz, and I'm going to be the facilitator today to navigate through this new skill called emotional intelligence. This is one of the skills that has been studied already for 3 decades, and many of the human resources departments in the corporate America are looking for these particular skills when they do a new hearing. I am not by any trade an expert in the emotional intelligence, but as many of you, I have been part of many strategic planning committees and many good to great committees through my career. And what I want to do here with you is to share the different research regarding emotional intelligence and how we can apply it to our small businesses. Then let's go and dig in, and let's start with reminding about the communication elements, because emotional intelligence involves communication. Then first, as you see in the graphic, our communication is nonverbal 55%. Then this is something that we need to be aware. And also another important element of our communication is the tone that we use. And tone nowadays, we also need to interpret it as the way that we communicate in those virtual settings. Then tone and the posture of our body and the gestures, all that are essential part of our communication, and really are the ones that are sending the message and the image that we are representing at that moment. Also, we need to focus in the circle of influence. We need to focus in what we can change. We should not spend our energy and our time in things that we cannot change. Our focus should be only the things that we can control and that we can influence, the people that we can inspire. Also remember that perception is reality. The image that you portray, the image that you show to the people, that is the image that is going to be with them. And that will be for a very long time as perceived as your persona. Then we need to really care about our communication skills because emotional intelligence is fundamental part of communication. But what is emotional intelligence? Then emotional intelligence has been defined as the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions. Then once again, to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions. And also to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. And why this is so important? Well, because emotions are in everything that we do, okay? We cannot call something like a rational decision. All our decisions are tied up with an emotion. That is the reason that is really imperative, really important that we know where our emotions come from and also how to manage our emotions. How does emotional intelligence works? Well, as we just define it, it starts with understanding about us, knowing about us. Remember, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions. And everything is about perception, but the emotions they come from someplace. The emotions are not just that happens to me. It's not something that we just step on it. The emotions have an origin, and that origin is our brain. And here is the first research that I want to share with you. As you can see in the top left of your screen, there is a book called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life by Dan Amen. This is a medical doctor that during his career has been studying the brain and also where the emotions are created. Then this is the first research that I want to share with you for you to get involved with knowing your brain, with knowing where your emotions come from. In this particular book, you will find all the details of how the brain controls everything, something that we already know, but at the same time, we are the ones in control of the brain. Yes, the brain is functioning 24/7, even when we are sleeping, but at the same time, we have control of what our brain is telling us to do. Part of the being in charge of our emotions is to being in charge of our own happiness. If you are going to be negative about the actions that you do, well, that is the kind of energy that you're going to attract to you. But if you are somebody that is always positive, you will have that energy, that positive energy around you. Water sees its own level. You are around people that are positive, you will be a positive person. If you are around people that are negative, you will be a negative person. Then be aware of your emotions, be aware of where your emotions are created in order to have a better management, a better control of your emotions. Dan Goldman is the person that started this research about emotional intelligence. And he was the one that coined the expression emotional intelligence. And then basically what he's trying to teach us is that we need to know and understand what we feel and why we feel it. And then that is self-awareness, is one of the first elements of his theory, and is the most important part of emotional intelligence, for you to know where your feelings come from and why. The second element of Dan Goldman theory is self-management, and is basically to handle all those emotions that are distressful, all that anger, all that not feeling well regarding something in a specific or being with somebody in a specific, all that you need to be in control of. And at the same time, you need to be in control of your happiness. You need to really learn about your passions. Make those passions become actions. Make those actions to be positive towards your life and the life of the people that are part of your company and that are part of your personal life. Another element of Dan Goldman theory about emotional intelligence is empathy. And empathy is basically to all that we discover in us about our emotions, we should be able to identify in others. We should be able to really relate to others' feelings and be a person that is there to help others. That is basically empathy. And the fourth element of Dan Goldman theory in emotional intelligence is to build relationships. Then once you are aware of where your feeling comes from, once you are in control of your feelings, once you have empathy for others, then your relationships are going to be more positive, in both ways, positive in the way that you can bring to that person and also the way that that person can bring to you. Then, as you see, those are the 4 elements of that Goldman theory: self-awareness, self-management, empathy, and build relationships. And basically, with this, once you put it to work in your small business, this emotional intelligence is going to translate to profits. This is something that Dan Goldman have studied also already by several years. Once he created this emotionally intelligent theory, he started his studies in the workforce and checking how companies perform once their members have really a skill in emotional intelligence. And then, as you see there in the screen, emotional intelligence power leadership, and then the leadership drive employees' engagement. And once the employees are engaged, they are really driven to perform better, to really help the company to grow, to really produce profits. One of the studies of Dan Goldman, state that companies with highest level of employee engagement, they generate 3.9 times earnings per share. Then this is something very important for us to know. Really, when we have happy people in our companies, when we are happy with what we are doing, when we are passionate with what we are doing, obviously everything is going to be better in our life, better in our company. And basically, with this theory of the emotional intelligence, what we're trying to do is to create in our companies a culture of accountability. Stop with the culture of blame, stop with the culture of looking to who did something wrong, and really let's focus in how we can make our processes better, how we can engage, empower our people, how we can build trust in order to go to that say that emotional intelligence will bring you to better profits. As I mentioned in the beginning, emotional intelligence is one of the skills that human resources are looking in people that is going to be in leadership positions. As you see over there, is one of the top skills by the World Economic Forum in 2020. As you can see, number 6 is emotional intelligence. Then this is one of the skills that they are looking for at all levels in the corporate world. Google also has identified several elements that really are related to emotional intelligence. As you can see it there on color blue, the number 1, 2, 5, and 6, strong achievement, drive, and high achievement standards, ability to influence, initiative, self-confidence. All this you're going to gain is you really master this skill called emotional intelligence, that once again is basically to know your feelings, to be in control of your feelings, and to build relationships. Also, in the military world, they also has been study this new theory about emotional intelligence, and they see that one of the most common factors or personality traits that they are looking in somebody that is going to be in a higher position is somebody that is positive, that is friendly, that is mindful. Basically, what they are looking for is for somebody that really is in control of his own emotional intelligence. Then, once again, where emotional intelligence starts? Well, it starts when we understand, when we know about us, about our feelings, and how we can start exploring about us. Then I want to share with you two initial activities that you can explore a little more. I haven't. I want to share with you that we're going to share with you this PowerPoint presentation, and as you see in the PowerPoint presentation is all the resources, and also we have some links for you to explore all those tools. Once again, this is a particular tool for you to start knowing about yourself. Maybe some of you already has been used or has been in touch with the Johari window, but this is something that you can do in the different periods through your professional career, through your life, because we as human beings, we change with time. Then is you compare your Johari window that you did 5 years ago, for sure is going to look different of your Johari window that you may do now. But the Johari window, really what helps us is to know about us, to know all the things that we don't know about us, and also to be clear about the perception that people has about us, and to work on that, because maybe it's the wrong image that I am projecting, and that is the wrong perception that people has about me. Then the Johari window is a great tool that my suggestion is for you to explore it and to check how can help you to start this process of knowing yourself, knowing your emotions, and understanding your emotions. The second tool for your self-assessment is the positive personality profile. Over there, I share with you a link from YouTube, and also one of the several books that already exist about this particular tool. And it's for you to identify your personality traits and for you to understand better how your emotions are working in your life, and how you can have control of your own emotions. Then it's really important for us to know about ourselves and to identify what is the perception that the rest of the people has about us in order for us to improve. That is the first step in mastering this emotional intelligence skill. And then once you mastered your emotional intelligence, once you are in control of your emotions, once you know where your emotions come from, then you're going to share that journey with others, with your significant others, with your co-workers, with your employees. And this is another research. The book is called Search Inside Yourself, but this particular book really shares a lot of activities that were developed in different companies in Silicon Valley, and how those teams became emotional intelligence teams. Then this is something that we want to accomplish. We want to learn about emotional intelligence. We want to really master this skill for us, and then share the skill with others, especially with our employees, in order to bring that emotional intelligence to profits, as one of the research just tell us that emotional intelligence becomes in profits. Besides that, I want to share another study, and this is the book is called Maslow on Management. And as the previous book, it has different activities for you to learn more about your employees, to learn more about the way that processes has been established in your company, and also the way that you can improve those processes and the way that you can engage better with your employees. Then this is another research that is worth it for you to check out and to see what tools you can get from here that you can apply in your company in order to get your team to that level of emotional intelligence. And then with emotional intelligence, what we want really to do is to stop that culture of blame, that culture of excuses, that culture of denial, that is basically being the victim all the time. And what we want to accomplish is to be in ownership of our emotions, to be accountable for our actions, to be responsible for us and for others. Then we want to be in a line of victory. Then, as you see, we can choose the position where we want to be. We want to be above or below the line, because below the lines is always looking for reasons, always looking for excuses. But above the line is really being charge of ourselves and looking for results, looking for really have that culture of accountability in our organizations and stop the culture of blame. Then I want to list all the resources that we have been sharing in this presentation. As you see, Dan Goldman is the one that started the research in emotional intelligence, and he coined this term, and he expanded his study to the workplace and also to the family. Then you will have a lot of literature from Dan Goldman and other authors regarding emotional intelligence that you can explore and apply the different experiences that they share in this particular book, Working with Emotional Intelligence, about how to make your organization an emotional intelligent workplace. And then you have Maslow on management, also sharing with you different tools for you to apply with your team. And Change Your Brain, Change Your Life is in a study that really took a lifetime for Dan Amen to bring it to us in a very easy way to read. Remember, this is a medical research, and then he just bring it to us with the right wording for us to understand how the brain works. And this is one of the basic elements for us to understand ourselves, to see from where our emotions come and what happens when we are not in control of our emotions. Also, Search Inside Yourself is a study developed with different companies in Silicon Valley. And they have a lot of experiences and tools to share with you that you can apply with your team. And then the positive personality profiles is different literature about this particular tool for you to discover your basic personality traits. And also over there, I have other books that you can share, with your family and also with your employees. And one is the Leadership Practices Inventory, and the other one is the 4 Agreements. It's a good reading just to inspire people to get into whatever you're going to do regarding emotional intelligence in your company. Then these readings can inspire people to really be open-minded when you start sharing all the tools for your team to become emotional intelligence. Most important, don't forget your circle of influence, okay? Don't spend your emotions on things that you cannot change. Focusing what you can change and make better, and also get around the people that are sharing that same venue with you, and then work together. That will be the best way for you to create an emotional intelligent group. I want to thank you again for being here with us and for being open to this sharing of the different resources and the different tools that are available for you to become emotionally intelligent and also to make your employees, your company, an emotional intelligent firm. Let's go with questions. Chelsea?
So, thank you, Ernesto. We currently do not have any questions in the chat. However, we will take your questions at this time. So if you do have questions or if there's anything you would like to get clarification on from the presentation, please go ahead and unmute your mic. Or if there are recommendations or you want to add to what Ernesto has already shared, please feel free to do so as well.
Maybe some of you had already experienced with all those research documents that we have been sharing here. Maybe share your experience applying this in your life or in your company.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tasha, go ahead.
So I am very familiar with a lot of that stuff based on, my undergrad degree. The Four Agreements is a book that I credit with changing my life. It is a very simple book, and they have many versions of it as well. So I recommend everybody, if you haven't read that book, it's really common sense and simple, but when you kind of just break down life into just being impeccable with your word and not taking things personally, it changes your outlook in life, in business, and it reduces the amount of time you waste on, as I say, nonsense, but a lot of the stuff you put in there, I'm very familiar with it, so I enjoyed the presentation, but the life-changing book for me was The Four Agreements.
Thank you for sharing. And yes, this is an easy reading that, as I mentioned, this could be the first opening for you to share with your employees. Even if you have teenagers, I think that this is a very nice gift to your teenagers because, as I said, it's easy to read and they really can get inspired in too many actions in their life, in too many positive changes in their life. For you in your company, this could be, the first inspiration for them to get into the emotional intelligent tools that you want to apply in your company. Thank you, Natasha.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any questions or would like to contribute?
Oh, hi, this is Jasmine Chelsea. How are you?
Good. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Awesome. Thank you, Ernesto, for a job well done. I have a quick question by any chance. Yes, I am familiar with some, but not all of the information that you shared with us. So thank you for that. My question is, by any chance, based on your readings and also what you know, what role, if any, does like the horoscope signs impact the understanding or the connecting with someone's emotions? Or I don't know if that plays a role at all, because I know sometimes with the horoscopes people have different personality and your past may dictate the misunderstanding or maybe not able to relate because of that person's medical or even horoscope signs.
Okay, I think that, the important part is for us to, and this is the core of what Dan Goldman wants to share with us, that the core of everything is for you to know yourself. And based on that, really your relationships are going to change, even if those relationships in the past were damaged for whatever reason. You're going to be really in control and in knowledge of all your emotions, that all those things can be fixed by you. basically. And even though the other person will not be in the same, let's put it in the same level of emotional intelligence that you're going to have, just for you to start bringing that environment to heal that relationship that was damaged for whatever reason, that will be an opening maybe for that person to also open themselves to changes and to maybe get into emotional intelligence also.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Robert, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, Robert Ballou, Director Economic Development and Diversity Compliance here at Broward County Public Schools. So first, thank you, Ernesto, for a great presentation and the information that you provided. Going into a little bit to Jasmine's question, in my first study of emotional intelligence, the person who taught us talked about, in order for you to understand, you have to get under where you stand. I.e., the part of getting to know yourself is getting to know what is it that you're standing on and what is under you, so that you can truly understand, i.e., get under where you stand, so that you know where you are. And then that then helps you to, if you will, take that empathy pill to understand what other people are going through. Because what they said may be a true statement for where they are, and you talked about that perception as reality, but there may be some underlying issues that started that statement. So where they're standing could have, some gobbledygook in it, if you will, that then comes across as hostility, but it really wasn't hostility towards you. It was just something that they were going through. So being empathetic to the person and knowing where you come from are, yeah, as you will, those basic tenets of emotional intelligence, and demonstrating those abilities is the demonstration of a higher EQ, if you will. But thank you for your commentary and insight.
Thank you, Robert. Anne-Marie.
Hi, good morning. This is Anne-Marie Richards. I just want to say, Ernesto, good job. Very, very interesting. I've never heard of the Johari window. I actually am interested in it. So I believe you put some publications on there that, did you put anything on there that I could
Yes, it's going to be
read?
yes, it's going to be a YouTube link for starters. And really the Johari window is open to the public, and for sure if you just Google it, you will find different sources that will help you to complete the Johari window.
Very good. Very, very good information.
We'll share the information with everyone at the end.
Yeah, very good. That was that. Like I said, that is new to me, and I'm very much interested in reading. Some good reading, and I will look at the YouTube video, but I'll try to find some publication that I could probably get some more information, because it's very, very interesting. I know, coming from the Caribbean, my tone sometimes comes across like very, very harsh. When I don't mean it to be. So Johari window, understanding that, I would be interested in reading up on it. So thank you. Great presentation. Very, very good.
Thank you. Yes, and the Johari window, you will find a lot of free resources for you to complete it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. We still have a few minutes for a couple more questions. Okay. So we want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you, Ernesto, for an awesome presentation. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to come.